Peace, family. Peace, 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 peace. All right, honey, don't mind my bonnet, okay? Honey, I woke up at 5 this morning and then went back to sleep and got up at 6, okay? So right now it is after, I believe, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Honey, I done did my goals. Okay, well, I got 2 books to read. But listen, I wanted to come on here real quick to talk about fasting, okay? Now, this is not medical advice. And if you have any health issues, you need to consult with your physician. Okay. Before you do anything, consult with your physician. Okay. Now, fasting. All right. So some of you guys know I went on a week fast. Okay. Only the thing that I consumed was water. All right. It was water, and I was away from social media. I did not watch no television. And I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe to give me inspiration as I fasted. Because I never fasted for 7 days before. And so it was the greatest experience that I have ever experienced. But this is why I wanted to come on here, okay? So some of you guys know I had did a video a few weeks ago about me having a court date pertaining to some tickets, right? It was the tickets, they came with like 9 points on your license. And it was, allegedly that I was reckless driving and all this other stuff. And I was like, what the heck? Right? I didn't know. And I got the tickets in the mail. And the case had went on for like a year and a half, honey. And I hired a lawyer because I was like, what the heck? I didn't know what the heck was going on, because that was the first time I ever received tickets in the mail. And at that time, I was doing Uber. So I was like, oh my goodness, can't have points on my license, whatever, right? So during my fast, it was a few requests, a few things that I had put out into the ether, right? I spoke to God, source, universe, honey, you can call it whatever you want, infinite intelligence, it doesn't matter, okay? And basically, I was telling God, like, me doing this fast, okay? If you are begging, because I know we have been programmed to be begging for whatever it is that we desire, there could be a reason why you're not getting what you truly desire because you're begging, right? Begging to me is like you don't feel like you are worthy of whatever it is that you are asking for. So now you gotta beg for it. Like get on your knees, so to speak, and beg for it. Not like that. But you get what I'm saying? So since I got into spirituality, things has been me pretty much just putting the request out, right? Not like, oh, please, God, give it to me. And then, but just putting a request out. So one of the things during my fasting, I had said, if that court case, it can be done with, right? And me not getting no points on my license. And also I had put a request out far as my income, for my income to go up and for a bill to be accepted, right? Because I did like a bill endorsement, right? And so, one of the things, the first thing that I noticed was during my fasting, I was really, really emotional. Um, and I had like memories of myself when I was a child with my sister Melissa. Me and her grew up. Well, me and her lived in the same household. So you may be like, well, of course, y'all sisters. No, I have other sisters and brothers, and we didn't live in the same exact household. Okay. So chill with that, okay? But my sister Melissa, me and her is extremely close. She is like my day one, okay? And I remember during my fasting, I was in a bathroom and this image had came to me, this memory of when me and her was younger and we would watch the awards, like the BET awards back then. And I remember how the celebrities, they would get on stage and they would always say, I want to thank God first. And when I remembered that, like, I became so emotional, and I started crying and everything like that. And instantly I was like, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. Now, the reason why I do not say, because I don't want people to associate when I'm saying God, I'm not talking about the man in a man in the sky, okay, or someone else outside my existence. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my higher self, okay, that is spirit within me, my intuition, whatever you want to call it. You can't get wet from saying water, okay? And I think, like, when we have all these different names, it basically divide us up in half. And we like, well, if you ain't say source, or if you ain't say infinite intelligence, or if you ain't say God, if you ain't say universe, whatever, honey, it is all a goddamn same. Okay? It is pretty much all the same. So it doesn't matter what you call it. You cannot get wet from saying calling it water. Okay? So let me move on. So, anywho, so the court date, it was approaching. Now, mind you, this case had went on for like a year and a half, honey, right? And the court date, it kept on being postponed. And I remember during my meditation, and this book, I always tell you guys the books I am reading, because I know if they could work for me, I know they will work for you. So the book is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, right? And in that book, Dr. Joseph Murphy had this client, this lady who was going to court because I believe it was her husband who left her an estate, and the husband children, like, pretty much they didn't want, their father's wife to be left with the estate. So they was like trying to go to court and everything like that. So I remember that story in a book of The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And it was some things that Dr. Joseph Murphy was telling a lady to do, like visualize that everything has worked in your favor for this court case and stuff like that. So I would visualize the case being pretty much thrown out, right? And so what happened was, my attorney, we had like two court cases. I mean, two court dates, like recent, like back to back, right? Mind you, it's been going on for a whole year and a half. So the most recent one was in March. I mean, not March, in February. Wait, let me see. In January, right? And the prosecutor at that time, pretty much, he was telling my lawyer, like, if your client would do a plea deal, she'd pay 400 and no 200 and something dollars with no points on her license, right? And so when my lawyer told me that, I was like, no, that don't make sense. And she pretty much was saying it too. She was like, no, that don't make sense, whatever. The cop would have to identify you, like all these different things, right? So what wound up happening was, the judge had set another court date, which was in February. And that court date was for the officer to attend, right? And so February, the court date came, whatever, and it was virtue. And the officer had came, and I was looking like, who the hell is this? But you know what was so crazy? Listen, I really want this video to touch somebody, okay? What you speak, that's what shall be. I told my attorney back then, I said, the case is going to get thrown out. I wasn't sure if the case was going to get thrown out. I didn't know, but I spoke it, and I said, the case is going to get thrown out. And she was telling me, she was like, no, they probably ain't going to throw this case out, whatever. Let me keep going. So anywho, so it was a sheriff officer, and I noticed, like, first I was like, oh, the police officer didn't show up, right? Because it didn't say anything like a police officer for case, Dina Bryant or whatever. So it was like a half an hour went past or 45 minutes went past, and I'm waiting in a, virtue room, whatever it is. And then I seen like sheriff officer for Dina Bryant case or whatever it was, right? And then I'm like, oh my goodness, like this cop, he showed up, right? And I was thinking, I was like, he must be ain't had nothing else to do, right? That was one. And then I was like, where does cop come from, right? And I told my lawyer, I was like, something seems kind of off. Something seems fishy about this, right? And she ain't say nothing, but like probably like 20 minutes after I seen the cop on a virtual camera, like in a court, um like for the court, what happened was my lawyer, she sent me, no, she called me and she was like, Dina, they calling you for, us to go into court, virtually. And the judge just was like, oh, it's my understanding that the sheriff officer can't identify, the alleged person or whatever, talking about me. And I was like, okay, come through, God. Come through, universe. Come through, source. Okay. Cause I was like, and then my lawyer, she was like, no, the judge said, oh, did the prosecutor speak with you? Talking to my lawyer. And my lawyer was like, he said something, but he didn't like explain fully. And the judge said, well, do you want the case to be dismissed or not? So I'm looking at my lawyer like, you better speak quick and say yeah, right? So the case got thrown out. The case got thrown out. Okay, that was one. Another thing that happened, okay. Remember I said about my income? I want my income to, I put out during my fasting, like wrote down things that I'm going to manifest, right? Like giving up something for something else. And I had said for me to, for my income to go up. And I remember it was after my fasting, I had received an email from a content creator, right, who has, oh, I don't know, on each platform, she has probably like over 500,000 subs, okay? And this person, I received the email, and basically it was saying like a mindset class, right? And I had took her courses before, but you know what was crazy? Because the monkey in the mind. Now I talk about the monkey in the mind, and how the monkey in the mind at times is going to tell you not to do certain things, like, oh, don't take that course, or don't write your goals down, don't do this and don't do that. You don't listen to that, because all of that is programming, and it's like the program don't want you to change. And so when you do something radical, something different, your life is going to start changing. Remember, we get what we are, not what we say we want. You're not going to get something different because you cried, bitch, moaned, complained, or whatever. You got to do something different. You got to apply action, right? And that is the quickest way to manifestation, is action. Like, well, actually believing. Like, believing it and staying at a high frequency, right? With, yeah, and imagination is very, very important. So anywho, so I took this content creator's page, I mean her class, whatever, and it was basically a mindset class. And she was pretty much saying, because I asked her, about the numbers and stuff, like about posting. She was like, oh, post, a certain amount of times per day. And she was like, I don't give a F, like how those numbers, how those views look. You're going to keep on posting. And what she pretty much was saying was, do not allow, the amount of views you get on the videos to dictate where you're going, right? Or to be your destination on where you're going, right? You have a end goal in mind, okay? Psycho Cybernetics. I'm going to keep on showing you guys the books, okay? By Maxwell Maltz. Have an end goal, have your goal, end goal in mind, okay? And she was pretty much, basically, that's pretty much what she was saying. She was like, it's not about the outside world. It's about you staying consistent, because consistency wins in all things. And she always say this. And so I just start posting. And this is another thing to the person that's out there, because I really want you to win. Okay. There's enough success for all of us. Okay. We don't have to try to beat somebody to the punch, or, try to compete or whatever. Honey, by the way, when you compete, you lose. Just FYI. The moment you start competing, that's the moment you shall lose. Okay. But I started writing my goals down. Then I heard Brian Tracy, which I heard him say this a few times, but I had heard Brian Tracy say, write your goals down every day. And then everything just happened. I became monetized, okay, on YouTube. My numbers on social media went up. And the next thing that's going to happen is the 20,000. I'm receiving the 20,000 from social media. I know that because I put it out there. Actually, I think I said 10,000, but I put it out there. Okay, so I know Source is so freaking amazing. Okay, so oh my goodness, the way everything has been transpiring in my life and turning out for the best, you have no clue. So then today, right, I had went on my bill to view my bill, right, with T-Mobile, and I had seen, how about my bill just was $370 something dollars? How about now it says I have a credit of 44 cents? So when I tell you this works, honey, it works. Okay? It works. Now I may go on another fast because I feel like I need to do another fast. So I may do another fast. I don't know if it's gonna be this month or next month. I'm gonna listen to the downloads that I receive to see if my higher self want me to do a fast this month or next month. But I really wanted to do this video to give inspiration to someone that's out there that may feel like their lives are going downhill and they may feel like they can't get better in life. I am here to tell you, you can and you shall and you will get better in life. Okay? But first you got to believe. Okay? And I want you to understand and get that you're worthy of greatness. That abundance is your birthright. And I'm going to read this to you guys. Okay? Because to that person that's out there, I know what it feels like when you feel like, there's no hope for you. Okay, so I'm a read this to you. This is the Prosperity Bible. I have been showing you guys this book for a minute now. And it says the desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. And desire is praiseworthy. The man who does not desire to live more abundantly is abnormal. So if you're a person, you like, well, I'm just okay with a mediocre life. The book is saying that is abnormal, because spirit is always looking to expand, is always looking to do things more advanced. If you want to run even quicker. If you good in basketball, you want to be even better, right? It's always looking for ways to expand itself. So the person that says, I'm just comfortable where I am, I understand the whole concept of gratitude, because I am a big fan of gratitude. But at the same time, sometimes you will say that you comfortable where you are because you really don't want to do the work. You got to be real with yourself. You probably don't want to do the work, or maybe you're a little afraid. But I get it, friend, because it's times where as though the fear, it comes up. And that's how you know you're growing. When you look at the fear and you say, you know what, I can do this. I could accomplish this. And you do it and you accomplish it. Because the truth of the matter is, you have way more potential within yourself than you ever could imagine. Okay? And the next one is, it was a few of these that I wanted to read. And it talked about how you could be the poorest man on a continent, and you can still become rich. Oh, speaking of gratitude, gratitude will lead your mind out along the ways by which things come, and it will keep you in close harmony with creative thoughts and prevent you from falling into competitive thought. That's another thing. So I talked about competitive. Like, stop compete and feel like you got to compete with people, because when you compete, you losing your authenticity, and then now it's like you doing this because you like, oh well, I gotta outshine this person. And when you look into outshine that person, that means that you giving that person so much damn attention that you're not even focused on what you're supposed to be doing. Uh, 1 second, friend. Okay, because I really want you to get this. And I know sometimes we feel like we supposed to ask for, things that are less than, right? Like, oh, well, I'm going to ask God for something small because I believe I could get the small thing as opposed to of the big thing. It takes no more work than the big thing nor the small thing. It's just what we put labels on. It's big if you say it's big. It's small if you say it's small. Okay? But because you ask for something small, that doesn't mean, if you believe you could get something small, you should believe that you could get something big. Okay? All right? And that all of that is programming. All right, family. I'm trying to find it. And I'm reading from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wallace. Whatever. I can't find that one. But it says, whatsoever things ye ask for when ye pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them, said Jesus. Okay? So remember, when you ask for things, your request is already sent out. It's like it's out already. Now, only thing you got to do is go on about your darn business. That's all you got to do. Go on about your business and know that those things are on its way. And when you know it's on its way, it's the same as that concept as the kid. I always give this analysis because it's like the kid that is waiting for Christmas, right? Christmas is next week. She already knows that presents is going to be up under the Christmas tree. They know that already. And so they excited, they happy, they smiling, probably more talkative than normal, okay? Because they know the gift is up under the tree. They know they are going to receive gifts, okay? And so you have to be just like that person, okay? All right, family. I can't find the part of this, but I highly recommend you guys get this book, The Prosperity Bible. This is such a great read. Okay, so many people in here, like Napoleon Hill. I remember my mentor Bob Proctor talked about Napoleon Hill like so much, and his book Think and Grow Rich. Okay. To become wealthy, it's like 95% mental and 5% action. It's all about how you think. As a man thinketh, James Allen. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't. And so I know this is going to get to the right people. Okay. Until next time. Peace.